This is Diana Sullivan in Austin, Texas. I am a flatbed knitting machine teacher, but I am also an avid user of circular sock machines. This is my little setup with my Laguerre 47, which is about a 100-year-old machine, and I use it all the time to make socks. In fact, it's got one hanging on it right now. Now, I have a new book out called The Happy Cranker, Circular Sock Machine Success. This little video today is a clip from it that shows how to close a toe. Here's the toe, looking really quite funny, but what we need to do is sew this to this and get rid of this pink yarn. And I prefer to do the job from the inside of the sock. So I take the sock and turn it inside out. And this is what we have. And I've got a nice long piece of green thread with which I can sew. I'm going to cut away this knot, ignore the bit of pink string, and I'm going to thread the green end in my needle. As you look along, there's a row of pink bumps. Well, those are the first pink stitches, or I should say last pink stitches, of the waste yarn. And you just grab the green bits because the green is where I'm putting this together. So I'm under this green bit and I come to the side where I came out, my original end, and I go under that bit and draw that up. That's just the edge of the toe. I like to draw that one up a little tight because that one tends to get loose as it's handled. And now I'm going to sort of create this mouth shape for this toe of the sock that's going to be sewed together and hold it so that you can see as much as possible about how to sew it. Now here's my next green bump. See it in between those pink waste yarn bumps? And I go pick that one up, but I go across to the green bump I used before. So I'm actually using that loop twice, and I draw that up. Now not super tight, just draw it up so it's about the same tension as a row of knitting. Then go from this side over through this green bump and then use the bump you used before. So it is new stitch, going from the outside toward the middle of the mouth, and then straight across through the old stitch that you used before and draw up. Not too firmly, just draw it up until it closes. Then next stitch on the opposite side and toward me, going through this loop again. This is like Christmas ribbon candy, the way that it wiggles back and forth. And this would be the new stitch, old stitch, or new stitch, old stitch. Or I've heard people say, go next door, then go across the street. And I've heard people say, clean hole, dirty hole. But see what a simple rhythm there is to that? This is absolutely the smoothest, most comfortable seam you can put in the top of your sock. It's going to be just like all the rest of the knitting. There won't be a lump, bump, bulge, and if you practice this a little bit, you'll be able to put it in so you can't even figure out where it is. It is that invisible. So I'm going to go ahead, get the rest of these stitches in on across the row, and then show you how to end off the end of the yarn. When you get to the end, just take a few stitches to secure the yarn. Sew it down for an inch or two and then clip it close to the knitting, and that will finish off the sewing of the toe. So here's how that looks on the inside, and here's how it looks on the outside. And if you were right here with me, I would challenge you to even find the place where I did that graft, it just vanishes into the knitting. So let me zoom right in on that toe. See how the graft vanishes right into the knitting? It might be right here. I don't know. There's a little dark spot in the dye of the yarn, or it might be over here. If I flipped it inside out, I could probably find it by finding where I sewed down the end. Now, I have 2 socks featured in the book and DVD product, and I show in detail how to make a beginner hemmed sock. You see, this has a hem and it does not require a ribber. So if you've got a sock machine and you're only able to make tubes, this is a good sock for you to improve your technique. And then I also teach another sock. It is my favorite sock. My favorite sock is on a 72 stitch cylinder, and it has these ribs that run all the way up the foot of the sock. In the book and video, I also go over how to make your socks match exactly like this pair, and this pair, and this pair. These match top to toe. I go over how to use your tools and accessories, how to change your yarn, how to hide yarn ends, how to make socks fit, and how to finish socks. For instance, how to make a really terrific knit selvage that stretches and springs back.